Hello, my loves. I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about when you feel a strong energetic pull, right, back to the narcissist. And this could even happen years after you've had any contact with them, right? It's very common. And there was a comment on the channel yesterday that said, I've been feeling strong energetic pulling towards the narcissist recently and it hurts. I want to pray to them to see them and speak to them again, but they went silent treatment years ago. I feel like I can never have closure, right, without speaking to them. This is really common. Yeah. And in my work, I promise you, like, my work works. I am the living proof of my work. Even recently, I went through some really big things in my life. And like the way I bounce back from things is everything I teach you in Sovereign. In this universe, right? You're not going to avoid pain. We're not going to avoid life. But when we get traumatized, yeah, that's when we're a match to the narcissist. When you're re-traumatized. Now, that doesn't always mean because of narcissistic abuse. It could be something big in your life that happens, an event that like sidetracks you. A narcissist is an energetic match in the universe to us in a traumatized state, or when we're dealing with unprocessed emotions from our past, right, that actually they kind of fake being the solution to. So in my Sovereign program, I go into with people, what was your biggest unmet need as a child? It can be as an adult, right? Because it's our biggest unmet needs that the narcissist pretends to sort of be the solution for, which they never are, right? The way to resolve our unprocessed emotions is through the healing and processing of them to come into our own sovereignty, our own authentic power and truth and solidity, really, of self. Then we're no longer going to enmesh with unhealthy people to try and solve really unprocessed emotional needs or traumas that we're not able, we haven't been able yet to resolve in our own being. Yeah. Oops, I just dropped my my notes. Bear with. So, one sec. Excuse me. So what do I want to say on this? So, when you feel a strong energetic pull to the narcissist, there's a couple of things going on. On this channel, I've got some very effective, and if you read the comments, I know that some of you are talking about it, tools you can use to say no consent, right? And actually kind of energetically protect your field and also push out when you feel under psychic attack, when you feel it's the narcissist energy. But it's not always a psychic attack. It's not always the narcissist actually trying to infiltrate your energy field. Sometimes it's when we're re-traumatized or going through familiar feelings that we haven't yet resolved in ourselves. So that those feelings could be things like loneliness. They could be feeling like abandonment. They could be feeling a lack of like being seen, being validated, being loved, yeah, feeling safe and secure in the world. So when we go back into those heavy emotions or something triggers it, our default response, if we haven't fully healed, and if you haven't, please join Sovereign because it's an epic journey. And this new group, I'm doing the Q&As on, the first Q&A is going to be Saturday. But our first response will be to reach out again to the narcissist, right? Because they represent, right, to us, because that's what they fake, the resolution of that unmet need. So you may find that it's at times when old emotions get re-triggered, right, that you'll want to reach out to them. It's not always them psychically attacking us. Often it's our emotional state, right, that makes us want to reach. I know, like, you know, it's only times when I got re-traumatized by life that I'd want to go back to the narcissist, right? Because they fake being the resolution, but all they actually do is antagonize that trauma and make it worse. What I do love about the work I do, like I say, this is life, right? So there's going to be hard stuff in life. But what I know about the thing I teach, and I am a living example of it, I mean, I'll share some other stories soon with you guys, is that, no, it's not that you're never going to feel trauma again. It's not that you're never going to feel pain again. But the way that you'll bounce back and get over it is extraordinary in what I do and what I teach. And actually, I know that Claudia Ray, like, you know, how quickly, like, we're not at the same stage of the cycle when we do this work. We might get at certain points knocked out of our consciousness back into an old trajectory, but the way, if you use the stuff that I teach you, the way that you'll come out of it will be quicker than ever. And I know that Claudia wrote that, like, how quick it is, how quickly she could just completely come back into herself and into her power and into her truth, and not be in that old timeline and trajectory. So please come into Sovereign if you can. It is life-changing work. So I want you to know that it's not because you need the narcissist, it's not because you love the narcissist, it's not because it's good for you to be with a narcissist. The reason that you, if it's not a psychic attack, want to reach out to them is because one of those unmet needs has been triggered. Yeah, and they represented the solution to that, even though it's a false solution, yeah, that will never work out. Yeah, it will just put you back in an abuse cycle. But they represented it to you. They represented the resolution of those unmet needs and those unmet traumas. So our job is actually to come into our sovereignty and resolve those traumas for ourselves, yeah? To do the healing work, to do the energy work, to let go of it, to keep working on being a complete source to self of love, approval, survival, support, validation, to learn how to navigate fear. Fear is going to happen. And if you've been in a narcissistic abuse cycle, right, we will have very strong traumas often of loneliness, abandonment, abuse, low self-worth, you know, losing our sense of self. And so, like, the way to combat that is to focus entirely on who we are, which we don't know yet, right? When we've been in these cycles, we've been who the narcissist needed us to be. Yeah, we haven't actually come into our true authentic power and our true, like, sense of self. And sometimes in these cycles, there's an enormous amount of loss. Yeah, I've had an enormous amount of loss in my life. So if you need help walking through grief, bereavement, loss, really painful, shocking situations, I've definitely got beautiful ways to resolve that for you, because I mean, my life was full of that. Was full of loss, was full of, like, devastation, was full of things going right and then everything being taken away, because that's what a narcissist does. You know, they destroy everything in your life, and that's happened to me over and over again. And to regain our sense of self and integrity and trust in the universe and solidity, really, and sovereignty through that is something that is available, and actually much quicker to do than you may think, right? Because until we resolve it, we're going to get the same cycle again. Because although I say all the time, you don't need a narcissist to come into your spiritual awakening, when you're with that cycle, you've got no choice. You're either going to stay stuck in an abuse cycle and get eroded and really lightly sick, or you're going to be forced into a spiritual awakening. So in all of my work, there's an elevation of consciousness. That's the whole point of it, because, you know, you have no choice when you've been through enough of these cycles, but to have, if you know, to get out of it, you've got to have a very, very strong spiritual awakening where you're a very solid source to self. You're very connected to the universe. You're very connected to who you are and your gifts, who you are without any of the things. You know, a lot of what keeps us trapped in these cycles always, well, what does keep us trapped is our survival needs. And things like love, approval, validation, support are survival needs, right? But we have to learn to self-source that in ourselves to actually feel connected enough to be our own source of love, survival, support, security, to know that we can take care of ourselves in this world. And we have to be able to navigate the fear of losing things, because the narcissist is always going to dangle the carrot of what you want, what you're missing in your life, right? What isn't full and complete, or you don't think yet is full and complete within you, which actually it is. You just haven't tapped into it yet, yeah? So there's always a carrot. There's always a thing that they're presenting that they have that you want. And they're always going to destroy anything that you love, right? that is very important to you. They're going to cause the ultimate pain and destruction. So the reason we hang on to them as well is because of the fear of loss, because we don't know if we can cope with losing the things that we've attached our idea of security, survival, love, validation, approval, support to. And our job in this kind of awakening is to know that we're going to be safe and taken care of, even if we lost the thing we're clinging on to that was so important to us. And that could be a home, that could be family, that could be money, all of those things. So depending on how severe the cycle is for you, on the other side of it will be a spiritual awakening that, when you transcend this, that is so grounding, because you'll find peace in all the chaos and know that you're going to be taken care of and beyond taken care of, no matter what someone takes away from you. So imagine that. Imagine the knowledge, the knowing in every cell of your being that no matter what anyone tries to take, and sometimes they'll use the law, they'll use authorities, they'll use very scary things to try and take from you. Whatever they try and take, you're going to be safe, secure, taken care of, loved, and feel powerful in this world. That's what sovereignty is, right? So on this, when you feel a strong energetic pull to the narcissist after going no contact, sometimes it's a psychic attack, and check out the psychic attack videos I've got on here in the tools. But often it's because we've got unprocessed, unhealed trauma. If you want to book in for trauma release session, single one, you can. But also I'd highly recommend you join Sovereign, because honestly, that work is deep. That group is going to be open now till the 30th of August next year. This current group, I'm building a community in it. There's going to be regular Q&As where you get to bring your unique situation. I'll be doing extra energy clearings and healings in those Q&As. I will address your specific issue. I'll be able to channel and psychically read what it is and clear it out with you, so you will heal. If you are ready for the ultimate healing, I would get into that program, because we're going on a journey on the next year, and building a community where we are done. We are done with this. We are breaking this cycle for good. It is no more in our lives. We're going to go off and create everything that we want in our lives that's true and authentic to us. Not what society tells us we want, not who we think we should be, but who we came to be, right? That's the journey I'm on. That's the journey we're on here in this community. And, our full expression in this universe is the work we want to do, the people we want to be around, the love we want to receive, what we want to contribute to the planet. That is what this next sort of phase of the Sovereign program is, with all the modules, all the coursework, everything that you can reuse. Clients write to me pretty much every day about how they're reusing the energy work in there, because it clears them like that. I have a gift for this. I've had to pull myself out of the depths of hell. I haven't given you the whole picture of what I've been through on this channel yet. I will, because I want you to know that no matter how heavy it is, how bad it is, you can come through on the other side, not just like a wounded warrior, but completely in a better position. I don't believe you need to be destroyed to be whole, because I think you're whole anyway, right? We just get beaten down. But I do know that the only way through this fully, forever, never to go through this again, and probably if you're here, you've probably got a significant purpose on the planet, because people that work with me tend to, is to really claim yourself and to get to know who that is, and to work with the universe on allowing you to bloom and blossom into that person. Many of my clients say the beauty of this work is that I get to bloom where I am. I haven't got to wait 10 years. I haven't got to get a qualification. I haven't got to lose the weight. I actually got to bloom where I was. And from that point, which can happen very quickly for people sometimes, you then get to have the life you want, because you're an energetic match. Your authentic self is an energetic match to everything you authentically desire, and that's the beauty of it. So if you want to do that, check out the links, or you can send me a private message. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe and share. Lots of love, and please keep posting your questions as well, because I really love answering them. I absolutely love sharing what I know about that. So if you've got questions and you're going through something, please write it in the comments. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.